Writing has always been medicine for me. When an emotion boils up inside, I've always taken to paper. Along with the ink, I release my turmoil or joy, sadness or excitement. So in true form, I feel the need to write out something that is going on in my life that I've never written about before because somehow it's never come across my radar. No doubt it has always been there, but somehow I've managed to wade in my own naivete for the last 32 years. I don't even know what to call it, this invisible challenge. One only known to my fellow humans that share the same XX chromosome. Yes, us women. Givers of life. Mothers, sisters, wives, grandmothers. We conduct miracles within our bodies. Our bones split, our skin stretches, our hair grays as we worry over the lives that grow within and come from our bodies. This is how I've always seen women, how I've seen myself. I've never felt I was less than, weaker than, or at a disadvantage due to my gender. What I have never fully conceptualized until now, somehow, is that other people see me as such. Because I am a woman. How did I miss this? Sure, I learned about the women's right movement, saw pictures and books of women burning bras, learned about the struggles and ultimate success of women's right to vote, among other achievements propelled by women who refused to be seen as less than, and what strides they undoubtedly have made. But somehow I never fully applied the reality of the struggles women have faced and continue to face until the last year of my life, and that alone absolutely baffles me. How have I been so blind? It seems new to me, these binds that tie me, the doubts that follow me, the atrocious assumptions made purely because I am a woman. But here I am, propelled into a world that is nothing new, yet to me utterly unfamiliar. The catalyst being becoming a widow at 30, which caused my universe as I knew it to fracture into a myriad of new realities, many of which, although equally treacherous to survive in their own right, were not altogether unexpected. Grief, and all the avenues that come with it. What I did not see coming, what I didn't even know was there, was how I would be seen by so many. To clarify, I am all too aware of the looks, the pity, the eggshells so many people had to walk on. But to truly express this invisible battle I find myself in, I have to do what I seem to have to do all too often. Explain myself. Alluding to what I said in the beginning, I write to purge. So I'm going to write as I feel. Explain it in the words that come to me and not the words I prepare for others. 408 days ago, I was 30. I had just passed my second year of a strained marriage to a man I loved with all my heart. I had an 18-month-old baby girl I worshipped. I was 8 weeks into a very unplanned and potentially life-threatening pregnancy. And then my husband died on his way home from work. Thus, the fracture. I was propelled into a life no one ever thinks they will face. In the 408 days that followed, I saw my husband's dead body. I lost 18 pounds in a week. I made his end-of-life arrangements. I picked up an urn full of ashes that were once my husband. I wrote his obituary. I planned and attended his memorial. I picked up his mangled motorcycle from the junkyard. I almost died from gestational complications and subsequently lost the pregnancy. I had surgery to save my life. I went to a good friend's daughter's first birthday party and watched as my little girl kept looking around in a sea of daddies for hers and cried when she couldn't find him. I bought a new car, moved into a new house, and started a successful business from the ground up. I survived a debilitating panic disorder and PTSD. I stopped and started and eventually established a cocktail of medications that somehow returned my ability to function. I turned 31, and I celebrated my baby girl's second birthday. I smiled through the holidays with my husband's family. I said goodbye to the last year that he was alive and started my first year without him. I hired a nanny. I gained 15 pounds. I sat and wept on what would have been our third wedding anniversary. On St. Patrick's Day, his birthday, my mom and I threw shamrocks in the street where he died. I made daily phone calls for 8 months until I finally got a police report. I read the coroner's report. I carried it around in my purse for 2 months because it made me feel closer to his last moments. I made it through the 1-year anniversary of his death. I made the incredibly tough decision to part with his urn and purchase a glass niche at the cemetery for the urn and some of his favorite things. I planned, purchased, prepared, and successfully orchestrated a small family ceremony for the interment. I left my feverish, lethargic 2-year-old baby with my mother at the doctor's office because the only appointment was the exact same time as the interment. I held my husband's urn for the last time, prepared his niche, and skipped out of the ceremony I planned early to race back to my baby. I learned my daughter needed oral surgery and would have to be put under general anesthesia for 2 hours. I watched as an anesthesiologist walked away with my heart in his arms. I held my breath as she struggled to wake up, and I put chapstick on her dry lips as they quivered. I felt the indescribable relief when she opened her eyes and I had her back in my arms. I researched, planned, and successfully registered my best friend, my loyal and steadfast Labrador Maya, as an emotional support dog. In a nutshell. The reason I feel the need to review the last 408 days is that all of it doesn't seem to change the fact that I am a woman and therefore am seen to be at a disadvantage to many. How could a woman possibly have a successful business created and maintained on her own? How could she afford to rent a house? Why isn't she in a 1-bedroom apartment? Why does she need so much space? Okay, your little dalliance with your business was great, but it's time to get serious. Oh, you're an only child and a widow? You should be living with your parents and have them support you and your child. Well, at least until you get married again. Oh, you have a business? With income? Really? How? She is living the high life now with that life insurance money. She's probably glad to be widowed. And that, going back to that nutshell, is a taste of the invisible wall I've been bounced against for the last 408 days. Don't get me wrong, I have received an outpouring of love and support beyond measure, for which I am eternally grateful for. It's a large part of how I'm still here to summarize the last year. But the circumstances I found myself in have brought to light just how much I am judged, made assumptions about, underestimated, and just plain undervalued because I am a woman. And now I see it everywhere. Which brings me back to my original question. How have I missed this? And more importantly, how, in my case, can the last 408 days be depreciated because of my gender? Luckily, I have come out of this last year with the help of God, my family, my sweet baby girl, and one hell of a good therapist, more confident than I have been in my whole life. Trust me, I still have enough holes in my emotional stability to rival Swiss cheese, but as far as my independence and the way I see who I am, I have a clarity and strength that even shocks me. So it doesn't allow this newly actualized adversity I am facing to diminish my belief in myself. But it sure does royally piss me off. I'm incredulous at the immediate doubt so many have that I have the ability to have my own business and actually make a living. I have done so many things all while weathering the unthinkable, sprinkled with the inevitable stressors everyone faces, and topped off with just some plain old bad luck. I have never even considered any other option. I keep going. Why? Because I am a daughter, a woman. But probably most important to me, a mother. My baby and her happiness has been my unwavering focus and goal for every minute of the last 408 days. My love for her is what made all of my achievements possible. My will to live, to succeed, to thrive, to provide, were all locked into place the moment she was born. They were heightened when my whole life fractured, not jeopardized because I am a woman. If I was not a woman, I could not have grown and birthed the very thing that got me through, the light at the end of each new reality. And for that, I am endlessly thankful, humbled, empowered, and damn proud to be a daughter, a mother, and a woman.